Good morning, boys and girls. How the devil are you? Been for my morning walk along the reservoir. Absolutely stunning day. Well, morning. Still only about 9:30. Really bloody heavy frost last night. But the sun is gorgeous. Apparently it's going to rain later. Sums up England, doesn't it? Sort of love weather like this. Fresh, clean. Takes me back to when I know I'm going back because there's nothing else to talk about. It's when I used to drive and you go through Holland and there'd be a thick frost and everything would be white and it was just so flat and you could see for miles, but it was peaceful. Even driving the bloody lorry with the engine thrumming away, there was a kind of nature peace, natural calmness on the land. There's that low-lying mist, and it sort of took me back to when I was driving trucks, and this particular thought made me chuckle. I was going down to Italy and I'd promised to get the load there for the following morning. As I was in France, the following morning was approaching, so a bit of hooky driving up through the Mont Blanc tunnel. Now the Blanc has now a motorway coming out of it on the Italian side, but it never used to have. It used to have steps. You've seen it in the films where the road twists left and right all the way down a mountain. And I'd come out the tunnel this night. It was late at night and it snowed on the Italian side, and as usual they don't plough the snow. Certain times of the day they spread ordinary grit, not salt, just ordinary grit, to help your tyres get a bit of traction. This hadn't been done, and to add some flavour to it there was a nice thick fog. Well, it was common in those days to just go down the Blanc gently, lower gear, use your exhaust brake. Fog lights on, you can't see much, but you know, snow reflecting the light into the fog, it's quite fascinating. But there were some drivers who used to drive on just side lights. They reckoned they could see more, which, normal course of things, was fine. This night I'd gone round one bend and there were real low sort of first and second gear spinning the wheel bends. The steering wheel, that is. I'd just gone round one and I was heading down to the next one, which had got a sheer drop over it if you got it wrong. And I looked in my mirror and there was some twat driving on side lights, pulled out, obviously going to overtake me. So, you know, my backside went half a crown sixpence. I held on to the steering wheel and waited for the inevitable, and I felt the unit itself starting to wiggle. So I was doing some steering to sort of anti-skid steering, thinking this is going to be a mess, and all of a sudden I felt a massive whoomp back at the trailer. And my first thought was, is it me? But I had to concentrate on getting around the next left-hander in one piece. I got round it and I pulled over. Nothing, no div out. There's a graveyard. I thought, well, he couldn't have gone over, he was on the wrong side because the mountain was on the right. I walked back of the trailer, no damage, and I could just make out in the road where I thought he'd hit me, snow all over the road, and the back tyres of my trailer thick with snow. And it dawned on me, I could see the front and middle side light of my trailer as it was jackknifing, and I hadn't realised that they had the appearance in the fog of somebody else's side lights. My trailer was jackknifing, my unit was going out of control, but the trailer had hit the bank on the opposite side, sort of bounced back, or bounced itself back straight enough where, as I went into the left hand bend gently, it sort of nudged off the right hand bank and everything sorted itself out. Well, needless to say, I didn't need any medication for constipation that night. What the heck's going on here? Got down to Aosta. And went into Aosta services. Had 3 or 4 very short, very quick, very rapid coffees. And managed to get to the warehouse in Milan sort of an hour or 2 into the morning. It was there that day. They were happy. They spent the whole day, because Italians are not quick, the whole day arguing and reloading me. Got me reloaded. Normally I would have kicked off and made a move and got somewhere that night, but I just pulled off the bay, pulled out the gates, side of the road, had something to eat, curtains drawn, went to sleep. I just was not in the mood in a 30 odd hour period to face the bloody mountain again. Next morning the road up was fine, you know, thick snow, but they'd put some grit over it and traffic was moving quite nicely, thank you very much. Got back through the tunnel on the French side, bugger all, heavy frost, that was it. Difference a mountain makes. What the heck's happening? I hate being this far back in a queue so I can't see what the problem is. If you can see what the problem is, it's not so bad. But when you can't see what it is, it's really annoying, isn't it? I shall start chuntering shortly. That was it, a short one. Don't think any of us realistically are doing very much, are we? So there isn't actually a lot to talk about. I was wondering about the bike. I sort of missed the bike. I really missed the bike. I'd love to have a little bike to play on, but I'd have to keep the car and I can't afford both. If anyone's got a nice little light 500 around that they don't want, post it to me. You got to ask, haven't you? Yeah, I really must get back on a bike, but as an only form of transport, the way my arthritis is going, not really practical living in a village in the middle of nowhere. Now if I could move into the town, which I would never do, but theoretically, if I could move into the town where I could use a bus and have a shop local, I'd get a bike again and get rid of the car. But being in the village and oh, I'm not going down there, and having to go out so much, it's not a lot of fun. Anyway, that was it. Just a pointless ramble. I hope you're staying safe. I hope the Rona hasn't got you. And I hope we all get vaccinated in time that life can sort its bloody self out again. Wouldn't that be nice? I don't think it's going to happen quick enough for Christmas, because the one we've got over here is a two-shot vaccine, and the shots are 21 days apart. So even if you have one in December, you're not going to get the second one in time, are you? Well, I'm not going into Tiptree. Whatever that problem is, I'm not interested. We'll extend my ride today. You have fun. Stay safe. Annoy the miserable buggers. You know the rules. Shout at those that don't wear masks. They might not hear you because you're wearing yours, but it'll make you feel good. Bye.